Our next amazing teacher, he's opened up the door, and into a new aspect of something that I have been totally delving into for me. And that is human design and the gene keys. So this is really another more, I shouldn't say more, another fascinating way of looking at another aspect of us, and something that can't be denied. You definitely need to have this, and we'll talk. I don't even know. There's so much to talk about. I don't know if we could do it in such a short time, but I would love to introduce to you Rogerio Dos Santos Aires. He is Portuguese, but lives here in Ontario, Canada. He has a great story that he's going to share with you of what brought him into human design and what it means to his life and how he sees this as a map of our own, I guess, individuality or of humanity in general. So, hi, Rogerio.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. Very good. Very good.
So tell us a little bit, what brought you to human design? What really interested in you? Oh my goodness, I can't even speak English. So where's Carolyn? So what brought your interest to human design?
Well, what brought me here was my life in the way that was going. A lot of issues with the emotional and relationship related with the ex-wife and present wife and the kids, and I never understood myself. I was just living life as no purpose at all. And one day my wife was having a human design reading. And the way it was explained to me and to her, how we both interact with each other at it's almost like a cellular level, and how we react to each other, for me, it was a no-brainer. And it was so simple. It was just the way it is. And me, for the first time, being able to understand that, and coming from a background of only being with men, a construction worker, like for me, it was like, whoa, what is this? So after that, everything changed in my life. And because of that change, I start studying human design. I start studying the gene keys. And that opened up so much for me. And life changed completely.
It is, right? It is.
Yes.
Like I feel like as I'm reading the gene keys and, got my human design and reading it, like, I've had a lot of readings in my life. I shared this with you. I've had a lot of readings in my life where people say, astrology readings, and I've had like, horoscope readings and all these different readings that people do. And there's been so many times where somebody will send me something, they've done a reading on me and they didn't really ask me anything. They just did this reading, and I'll read it and I'll be like, I don't know who they're talking about. This is not me, like not even close. Right. So, and then when I started reading about my human design, everything, like even the smallest idiosyncrasies of myself, which I thought were just Aisha things, things that were kind of me, were not. They were all about people who were manifestors, so they were all about people that were like, like me. So I was like, wow, this is crazy. So I started really getting into it. And if you read human design, it feels very sciencey. So I had to read every chapter like 3 or 4 times before I could really like get it in here, because I'm not a big science person. I mean, I am now. I'm starting to learn more and more about it, but it's nothing that I've studied a lot of. So the gene keys was a beautiful way to understand it, because I just felt like it opened up so much. And the more I read about myself, the more I was like, holy, that is exactly me. And now I know what to do to take myself to the next level in this area of my life and this area of my life. So I felt like it was like the missing piece for me. It was like the holy grail.
Yes. So human design is the new science of self-discovery, basically, and it's very mechanical because it's correlated to our genes. And what, like we have all the genes, the complete gene pool, right? The thing is, some are activated and some are not. The same way we are all different. That's what makes us different, right? So, and the way our energy interacts with others then brings out certain aspects of us, and at the same time it conditions us in life. A lot of times we close off and we internalize all those emotions. So for example, that's what happened with myself when I was a little child. I said to myself that emotions and feelings, it was out of my life. So I lived my life basically very serious and not playful, nothing like that. And I didn't know that. So when I discovered that, and I discovered why that happened, because we can find out also on the human design chart, because there are certain stages in our life that it just the way it is, that's why we come here to learn something, right? So those stages in our life imprint on us certain wounds, and then we live our life either in a shadow low of a frequency or vibration, or then we learn from that while we are still young, and we start elevating our frequency. For some of us that it's easier because of the circumstances, or the parents, the way they were raised, where they were raised, the environment, all that. For others, either they make the choice to close off, like myself, or they weren't. There are certain things that happened in life, like, for example, they were abandoned by their parents, or that they were in an area of the world where they're very difficult for them to
Right.
fulfill their purpose, right? And through the way they go through their life, their frequency stays low, because the background frequency of the world is fear, and they manifest that in their lives. With human design, because it's related individually to our own genes that are highlighted, then when we start observing what's going on in our life, what happened in our life, why we were experienced those experiences, everything made sense. In human design, there's something called our incarnation cross. And our incarnation cross, it's what are we here to learn? What are we here to fulfill? And everyone is different. And we can express that in a low frequency, or we can express that in a higher frequency. There's two stages of a low frequency that we most of the time express that, either a reactive side or
Repressive.
a repressive side. Yes. So, and for me, when I learned that, and when I learned, oh boy, I'm doing this, because it was just pinpointed directly to me, and I was able to identify what was the low frequency, because that's how my mind works. For others, there's a lot of creativity for them, and they, through their life, they learned that earlier in life. For me, I was very mechanical, and for me, learning that, it was easier. So when that happened, that's when things shifted. And
It's fascinating. Like, it is so fascinating.
it
We
is.
spend our entire lives, in so many ways wanting to learn about ourselves. Well, I hope so, that we want to learn about ourselves and where we're going. I mean, that is always a universal question, like, where am I going? Who am I? And for me, I mean, I hope for many, and maybe hopefully this is the answer for many, is that this is kind of like, it's the roadmap. Like, it's definitely, as I read about this, there is nothing that I have ever read anywhere in any of the work that I've ever done that has been this bang on about me. Like, so that when I read about my various keys, whether it's, the 27th gene key, the 24th gene key, the 55th gene key, whatever it is, when I'm reading about myself and I'm reading about the shadow of this key, and I'm reading about the gift of this key, and I can go, oh my God, I can actually see where I am. So,
Yes.
so if I'm reading about the 27th gene key, I might see that's about selfishness and selflessness. So I can see, am I still in the shadow? Well, no, that was how I used to be, but I'm fully not over here yet. So I must be somewhere bridging between, like, I can actually see where in this that I actually am, which is fascinating because it also answers questions within myself of, what, I need to focus on this some more. I need to make this better. I need to raise the vibration of this. And it gives me the idea of where to go next. It might be like, oh, you know what? I need to work with Patricia to help me deal with the selflessness piece of this, right? So it's almost lets me know what I need to work on. And then, and then find the person to either within myself as a solo journey, or find the person to help me to move into that space. So it's a wonderful gift.
Yes. So we can look at human design, our blueprint. And then the way I'm going to bring that out into IAUSM is I'm going to use the lens of the gene keys to show us the path for us to basically raising our frequency. And there's many aspects that we are not aware, because there's two sides of the human design chart. And usually on the personality side, we usually can see that in ourselves. But where we usually don't see, it's what is in our body.
What we were programmed with, what we came with.
Yes. So that is very helpful to come to understand that we have, our body knows what's best for us. And I call it the original you. So that's going to be what I'm going to introduce to everyone at IAUSM. So it's the original you. When we came, when we were born, there was no nothing interfering with us. There was no conditioning. There was no nothing. So that's the original, real us. And then from that on, we can fulfill our purpose. The gene keys, the lens of the gene keys, it's our roadmap to that. And there's many aspects of that. So we first learn about our genius, and then we learn about our relationships, our sexuality. And that's something that is so influential in the world. But we all, it's so crazy at the same time and unbelievable that we sometimes act in certain way in our relationships, and we don't even realize what we're doing. It's inside of us already, and we are like an actor, right?
It's true. Like, I've read some of the keys, and this person, if you have this, you might have a tendency to do this. I'm oversimplifying it right now, but you might have a tendency to do this, and I'm like, oh my God, I do that. I do that.
Yes.
I've got to stop doing that.
And it's much easier when we can identify those aspects and then just, okay, I know that what I'm doing right now, it's a low frequency. And it would be nice if I can, get out of that, because then I'm going to feel happier. I'm going to feel better. My body is going to function better. Even our health starts improving naturally. So that's the thing. And even our prosperity. in prosperity is not about only money. It's about us feeling good, feeling successful, and basically the universe bringing to us everything that we need and want. Basically, it just things starts flowing into place.
So we're going to be doing a group together. There's some questions here, so I'm going to get into that. But we're doing a group together inside of IAUSM, which I'm super excited about. So Cynthia brought in a collaborative course called Stepping Into Your Divinity. But you and I and Melisai and Star Spark, which we'll be speaking with very soon, and Melinda Atzelaz, who's not part of this launch, unfortunately, today, this weekend, she had other things, is we're doing a group together called Unwind Your Wounds and Step Into Your Genius. And that group is inside of IAUSM, which is going to be an amazing discussion group that we're starting July 20th. And that's really about us sitting down, not only are we going to be talking about the gene keys and human design discussions and getting into the various keys and the activations and stuff, we are also going to be talking about how astrology plays into this, and how access consciousness plays into this, and how speaking to our body plays into this. We're all bringing our specialties in, and we're looking at how we're tying it all together into a beautiful thing. And it's going to be an ongoing discussion that we'll be doing every 2 weeks inside this group and sharing all kinds of stuff. And it's going to be an interactive discussion, which I am so excited for us to be doing, because I think that, we're really going to be helping people a lot in their solo journeys and answering a lot of questions for them. So if you have not joined IAUSM yet, I mean, this alone is one of the reasons I can't wait to sit with you, Rogerio, and get into things like a lot more into detail and bringing in all of this juiciness into one group where we can all talk about stuff. So I think that that's amazing. And one of the questions that I saw here, I've got to roll down here. The question came in, how has your life been changed for the better, Rogerio?
Yes. So with my second marriage, I was almost breaking up again after a few months of getting married. So I got married last year, and the next weekend is going to be a year. And that changed because we saved our marriage in a way that now I know, for example, how interact with my wife. So she's very emotional, and I don't know if it's a man thing or whatever it is, but I blame her emotions for everything. And now understanding that's just the way she is, and how I can also help her to deal with that, and help her going through those emotions. So in human design, there's something that it's called emotional authority, and half of the population are like that. So she's one of those. I'm not. So I deal with emotions in a different way. So she has waves of high and low, and when she's in those waves, it's, for me, was difficult because I'm the other way around. I receive those waves and I amplify them. So whatever feelings I'm feeling, a lot of times it's feelings from people around me. And I never understood that. And that's why when I was a child, I kind of think, no more feelings, no more emotions, because that doesn't work for me. So now I'm embracing that. And I'm receiving, and sometimes it's difficult for me to feel it in my body, especially when I'm amplifying that. But at the same time, I can help her because I can notice her emotions before even she notices. So a lot of times she's doing something and something comes up for her. She doesn't need to say anything and I can feel it. And before I didn't understand why those things would happen. And I would just go a little bit crazy, and I would explode a lot of times, or I would just close off and not talking.
Is that a man Portuguese? Is that a Portuguese man thing? My ex was a Portuguese man. I was like, is that a Portuguese man thing?
Well, the thing is interesting. I was born in the country, like in a very remote area in Portugal. And being here in Canada, that was one of the things that it just transformed my life, because all my life experience is about the relationships. When I go and look in my chart, it's about relationships and learn. That's my cross, by the way. And interesting enough, things have changed. Also, it changed the way I communicate with my ex-wife, with my kids. I have almost two grown-up kids. They're still kids for me, of course. And the way we communicate is different. And now I understand also why I always felt in a certain way through my life, because I receive a lot of energy from others and amplify them. And that's just the way I am wired. And I didn't know that. So today I can accept and embrace that. And I can also help others to do the same, and also guide them into their journey, basically.
It's amazing. It's amazing. The one great thing is, those of you who don't know human design, there's four types, and it was so great because like there's a manifestor, a generator, a reflector, and a projector.
Yes.
So I'm a manifestor, and Rogerio, I believe you're a projector.
Yes.
Right? So when I had the idea for this group, this collaborative group, immediately that morning I was like, I want to do a group. I want to call it Unwind Your Wounds and Step into your Genius. And I already knew I want to ask these three people to see if they'll teach this group with me, if they'll lead this group with me. And the really crazy thing was, I'm a manifestor, you're a projector, Melinda is a generator,
Yes.
and Melusine is a reflector, which is only
Yes.
1% of the world. So we actually have one of each of the types, which worked out perfectly and amazingly for this. So it's going to be really great, and to see how we interact. And the one thing that I found out about myself as a manifestor was that I just do things normally. Like, I get an idea, I go with it, right? So my strategy was, I have to learn to inform people of what I'm doing, right?
Yes.
So I've started doing that, and don't just go to the store, tell people you're going to the store. Like, so it was always like informing people of my plans, because I usually have a plan and I go with it, right? And so now it's about saying, hey guys, this is what I'm planning on doing, right? So just informing people. And I found that it makes an incredible amount of difference, and that I don't meet with resistance, because even if it's a great plan, which most of my plans are, so even if it's a great plan, if you don't tell anybody that you're going to do it, then immediately there's this resistance.
Yes. And the thing is, these four types, it's how our aura works. Our aura interacts with each other. And understanding that, it just goes into flow, basically. And sometimes for some people, it can be difficult. And a lot of people, especially I find it through my readings with other people, I find that for for generators and manifesting generators, especially non-emotional, it's easier for them because they have a gut feeling, a very strong gut feeling. And if they learn to listen that intuition, they usually, get into that flow of life. For all of us that weren't able to get into that gut feeling or that flow because of the way our aura works, some of us have to wait, like me. Wait for the invitation, wait for to be recognized. That can be very difficult, because sometimes some of those invitations and recognition take a long time, and then we don't understand why things are the way they are, why we can't. We try to start a business and it doesn't work. We look for a job.
You have to do like that's. I'm working with that with some of my clients now who are projectors, and it's about you have to completely change your marketing scheme, your
Yes.
marketing, how you market, because you are a
Yes.
projector. So
Yes.
you need to do it completely different than everybody else will do it. So there's no one size fits all. As a
No.
projector, this is how your message has to come out. And
Yeah.
as a manifester, my message needs to come out differently. So it's
Yes.
like, it's really how your message needs to be relayed is quite different as well.
Yes.
We're getting, I want to make sure we talk about, sorry, so what were we going to say?
and then the way that message comes, it's not for everyone also. So there's something else when we dive into human design, it's called our fractal. So it's just for the people that usually are in our fractal, and we will get in touch with those people through our life. So if someone rejects us, it's not because they don't like us or because something we did wrong. It's just the flow of life and the way we interact with each other. It's so simple, and we like to complicate.
We do. We just love, drama. So you have this amazing bonus that you're giving. So for those of you who just joined and don't know the difference between a loot bag and a bonus, so the loot bag, all the attendees are getting the loot bag. So that's some great gifts that are given from some of our speakers. And you will be getting that probably Monday after the launch is over. You'll be receiving that. And that is a gift for everyone who attends. But then there's a bonus package. And that is a package of gifts that came from many of our speakers for this weekend that are actually sessions, consultations, sessions, time with them, one-on-one. So this is a great gift. Rogerio is offering his bonus package for those who enroll in IAUSM, and you will receive this 15 days to a month after you have joined. You will be able to book a time with him for a 2-hour human design reading. Yes. That is like crazy time. That's awesome. That is an amazing gift. Like 3 years worth of your membership, like what your enrollment is, you wouldn't even pay for that. So that's an amazing gift.
And I would like to just highlight that because it's going to be 2 sessions. So it's a 1-hour session each time. And the reason that it's set up that way, it's so that the person has time to digest the information that they're going to receive, and they to start to see the changes for themselves in their life. So when you go into the second session, they will have questions, and then we can go into detail in more depth about themselves.
Which is amazing. And those of you who are watching or who are attending, who are already part of IAUSM, we will make sure that everybody gets the bonus package. So, that's because you guys have been with us while we've been building, and you more than deserve it. Thank you so much, because you've gone through all the ups and downs with us while we've been doing that. So thank you so much. So those people, and now is the time to join, because not that it's an expensive thing anyways, it's $132 a year, but you're getting it for $99 right now until July 12th. So make sure that you come into IAUSM, make sure that you join the groups. All the teachers are putting groups together. Some of them are going to be collaborative groups like Rogerio and I are doing. Some of them are run by one teacher. There's more and more groups coming in that are collaborative and single. So it's great. Like just the groups and the courses and the community, like this thing has taken on a life of its own. I'm just trying to keep up. So thank you so much, Rogerio. I asked for a human design teacher. I put it out there, and as a manifester, of course, I got what I wanted.
Yeah.
So, and we got you, and you're amazing. And I'm so glad that you're with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So thank you so much. And do you think that I'm going to end this? Do you think that human design, that everyone should take part in this, that everyone should that is for everybody?
So yes. And the reason is very simple. We all came with a blueprint and with a purpose. And for us to find that out, it's very fulfilling. also, Raoult, which was the one that received the transmission of the human design, he said that human design is new science for our children, but has to be given to the parents so they can understand their children and guide them through life. So this is very important. And there's other teachers here that work with children, and the way they already talk about it's so beautiful. And understanding why certain children are given labels when they are just wired that way, and understanding the gifts that they have, and how the parents can guide them in their life. There's nothing that can, there's no words to express how amazing it is.
I wonder how many parents would change a little bit of their parenting techniques if they knew some things. I
Yes.
found out to raise a manifester, you need to not put them in a box and not try to suppress them. Otherwise, you will end up with a very passive, either a child who's completely passive or a complete rebel. So, my parents did what they knew with me. And when I read it, I was like, I was exactly the child who was not raised as a manifester. I did every rebellious, dangerous thing you could possibly think of, opposite to what they were saying. So had they known it, I'm pretty sure that my parents would have made some different decisions in some of the things, for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah, especially if there's a case where we have children with where their projectors are generators, and how their energy interacts between them, and also how we parents receive energy from our children that we sometimes don't understand. And that was something that happened to me with my two children. They are both manifesting generators, and when they came into my life, things shifted so much, and I reacted to that in I can say in a negative way. And if I would understand that, if I knew what I know today at that time, I could have guide them, and I could have teach them, and I could be a better parent. And what happened, and today I'm able to see things for where they are, and it was just circumstances of life, and I can still guide them in their adult life, and I can talk to them in a different way that empower them too.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of IAUSM. Thank you, Rogerio, for showing up in IAUSM's life. We're so glad to have you.